Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Personal Growth Talks podcast. I'm Jason, your host, and as always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Julia. Hey, Julia, how are you doing today?
Hi, Jason. I'm doing great. Thank you. I'm so excited for today's topic. It's one that feels so relevant right now. How about you?
Absolutely, I'm thrilled as well. We're just a few days away from welcoming 2025, and there's no better time to hit the reset button and organize our lives for the year ahead. Whether it's about decluttering, setting goals, or just getting a fresh perspective, today's episode is all about helping you start the new year with a clear mind and a solid plan.
Yes. And organizing and resetting your life isn't just about making resolutions that fade away after a few weeks. It's about creating systems and habits that actually stick and make a difference throughout the year.
Exactly. So if you've ever felt like you need a reset or you're not sure where to start, you're in the right place. We'll share practical tips, step-by-step guidance, and motivation to help you make 2025 your best year yet.
And of course, we'll keep it conversational and beginner-friendly as always. So grab a notebook if you'd like to jot down some ideas or just sit back, relax, and let's dive into how to organize and reset your life for 2025.
All right, before we dive into the steps for organizing and resetting your life, let's talk about why it's so important. Julia, have you ever felt like life gets so overwhelming that you don't even know where to start?
Oh, all the time, Jason. It's like carrying around a heavy backpack. You don't even realize how much stuff you've packed in there until it's weighing you down.
That's a great analogy. And that's exactly what happens when we don't take time to reset. Life gets busy, clutter piles up, both physically and mentally, and we lose focus on what really matters. Taking a moment to pause and reset gives you the chance to clear that backpack and start fresh.
Right. It's not just about cleaning or organizing your space, though that's a big part of it. It's also about organizing your thoughts, your goals, and your priorities. When you take time to reset, you're giving yourself clarity, which can lead to better decisions and less stress.
Exactly. And let's not forget the mental health benefits. A cluttered life often leads to a cluttered mind, which can increase anxiety and even lead to burnout. But when you organize and reset, you create a sense of control and calm.
Yes, and another reason this is so important is that it helps you focus on what's really meaningful. Sometimes we get so caught up in daily routines or other people's expectations that we forget about our own dreams and goals.
That's so true. So taking time to reset and organize is really an act of self-care. It's about saying, I value my time, my energy, and my goals enough to start fresh. And as we head into 2025, what better time to do that than right now?
Absolutely. If you're listening and thinking, yes, that's exactly what I need, stick around because we're going to break it all down for you in simple steps. Let's make 2025 the year where you feel lighter, more focused, and ready to take on anything.
All right, let's dive into the heart of today's episode, a step-by-step guide to organizing and resetting your life for 2025. Whether you're feeling stuck or just want a fresh start, these steps will help you get there. Ready, Julia?
Absolutely, Jason. Let's break it down step by step so our listeners can take action right away.
The first step to a proper reset is reflection. Before you plan for 2025, it's important to look back at 2024. Ask yourself questions like, what went well this year? What didn't? What lessons did I learn? Julia, how do you usually reflect on the past year?
I like to write things down in a journal, Jason. I divide it into two columns, one for achievements and happy moments, and the other for challenges and lessons. This gives me a clear picture of what worked and what I need to improve.
That's a great approach. Reflection helps you see where you've been so you can make better decisions about where you're going. And remember, this step isn't about being hard on yourself. It's about learning and growing.
Next up is setting goals. And not just any goals, SMART goals. That means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Jason, do you want to give an example of a SMART goal?
Sure. Instead of saying, I want to learn English, a SMART goal would be, I want to improve my English speaking skills by practicing for 30 minutes every day and joining an online conversation group by February. See how clear and actionable that is?
Exactly. Clear goals give you direction and motivation. And don't forget to write them down. It makes them feel more real and gives you something to revisit throughout the year.
Now let's talk about decluttering. A fresh start often begins with clearing out what you no longer need. Start with your physical space, your home, your workspace, even your closet.
Yes, and don't forget about your digital space. Organize your files, delete apps you don't use, and clean up your email inbox. It's amazing how much lighter you feel when you reduce clutter.
And a quick tip, don't try to tackle everything at once. Focus on one area at a time, like a single room or a folder on your computer. Small steps lead to big changes.
Now that you've reflected, set goals, and decluttered, it's time to build routines and habits that support your reset. Jason, why are routines so powerful?
Routines give your day structure and help you stay consistent. For example, starting your day with a simple morning routine, like stretching, writing a to-do list, or even just drinking a glass of water, sets a positive tone for the rest of the day.
Absolutely, and when building habits, start small. If your goal is to read more, commit to just 5 minutes a day. Small habits are easier to stick to, and over time, they grow into bigger changes.
The last step is to stay flexible and track your progress. Life doesn't always go as planned, so it's important to adapt when things change.
Yes, and tracking your progress keeps you motivated. You can use a journal, a planner, or even an app. Seeing how far you've come can inspire you to keep going, even when it feels tough.
Remember, resetting your life isn't about perfection, it's about progress. So be kind to yourself, celebrate small wins, and adjust your goals if needed.
Those are the 5 steps. Reflect on the past year, set clear goals, declutter, build routines, and stay flexible. They're simple, but incredibly effective for starting 2025 strong.
Absolutely, and don't worry if it feels overwhelming. Just take it one step at a time. Let's move on to talk about common challenges people face when resetting their lives and how to overcome them. Now that we've shared a step-by-step guide to resetting your life for 2025, let's talk about something important, the challenges. Julia, why do you think people struggle with resetting and organizing their lives?
Well, Jason, I think the biggest challenge is feeling overwhelmed. When you look at everything you need to do, declutter, set goals, change habits, it can feel like too much. So people don't even start.
That's so true, and the key to overcoming overwhelm is to start small. Don't try to do everything at once. Focus on one area, like organizing your workspace or setting a single, clear goal. Small wins build momentum.
Exactly. Another challenge is perfectionism. A lot of people think they have to get everything right from the beginning, and when they don't, they get discouraged and give up.
Perfectionism can definitely hold you back. The solution here is to focus on progress, not perfection. Remind yourself that it's okay to make mistakes and that small steps forward are still steps forward.
Another common challenge is time management. People feel like they're too busy to reset or organize their lives. Have you heard that one before, Jason?
All the time. And my advice is this, make resetting a priority even if it's just for 10 minutes a day. You don't have to block out an entire weekend to make progress. Break it down into manageable chunks.
That's such a great point. Another tip is to schedule it like an appointment. If it's on your calendar, you're more likely to stick to it.
One more challenge I hear often is lack of motivation. People start off excited but lose steam quickly. Julia, how do you stay motivated when you're trying to reset or organize your life?
I keep my why in mind. For example, if I'm decluttering, I remind myself of how much calmer and more focused I'll feel once it's done. Having a clear reason helps me push through.
That's a great tip. I'd also add that tracking your progress can boost motivation. When you see how far you've come, it inspires you to keep going. And don't forget to celebrate those small wins. It makes the process more rewarding.
To recap, if you're feeling overwhelmed, start small. If perfectionism is holding you back, focus on progress. For time management, break tasks into chunks and schedule them. And if you're lacking motivation, remember your why and celebrate small wins.
Exactly. Challenges are normal, but with the right mindset and strategies, you can overcome them. And now let's wrap up with some quick tips to help you stay on track throughout the year. All right, as we wrap up this episode, let's go over the key takeaways from today's conversation. Julia, what's the first thing our listeners should remember about resetting and organizing their lives for 2025?
First, take time to reflect on the past year. Look back at your achievements, challenges, and lessons learned. This will give you clarity on where you're starting from and where you want to go.
Absolutely. And the next step is to set clear, actionable goals for 2025. Remember, SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, are the way to go. Writing them down makes all the difference.
Then, don't underestimate the power of decluttering. Clearing out physical and digital clutter helps create a fresh environment and a focused mindset.
Right, and from there, build routines and habits that support your goals. Start small and stay consistent. Those daily actions will add up over time.
Finally, stay flexible and track your progress. Life happens, so it's okay to adjust your plans. The key is to keep moving forward, even if it's one small step at a time.
Now let's talk motivation. Julia, what advice would you give to someone who's feeling hesitant about starting fresh for 2025?
I'd say, remember that resetting your life is an act of self-care. It's not about being perfect, it's about valuing yourself enough to create a life that feels fulfilling and balanced.
That's such a great perspective. I'd also add that every small effort counts. Don't wait for the perfect time to start. There's no such thing. Begin with what you have and where you are, and the rest will follow.
Exactly. And keep reminding yourself why you're doing this. Whether it's to reduce stress, achieve your dreams, or simply feel more in control, your why is your biggest motivator.
So, as we step into 2025, let's make it the year of fresh starts and intentional living. Take these steps, embrace the journey, and trust that you're capable of amazing things.
You've got this. Remember, progress is more important than perfection. Start small, stay consistent, and celebrate every win along the way. Here's to a fantastic year ahead.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Personal Growth Talks podcast. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a reset too. Until next time, take care and stay motivated. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. We hope you're feeling inspired and ready to reset and organize your life for 2025.
Remember, every big change starts with a single small step. So take what we've shared today, start with one area of your life, and build from there. Progress is the goal, not perfection.
If you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful, we'd love for you to support us by subscribing to the Personal Growth Talks podcast. Don't forget to hit the like button and share this episode with friends, family, or anyone you think could benefit from a fresh start.
And we'd love to hear from you. What's one step you're taking to reset your life for 2025? Share your thoughts in the comments or reach out to us on social media. Let's keep this conversation going.
Absolutely. And don't forget to check out our other episodes for more tips and advice on personal growth and self-improvement. We're here to support you on your journey.
Thank you so much for listening. Here's to a successful and fulfilling 2025. You've got this.
Take care, stay motivated, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Personal Growth Talks podcast. Bye for now.